Hey, so what does a Kenyan police shooting look like when you compare that to an American police shooting? And the reason why I'm doing this is someone like me from the outside looking at America, United States today, the only reference I pay to it is the fact that the US dollar kind of has more value than Kenyan. And if I were to go to America, I would go there solely to make money because at this point, let's say if my life was in danger, I don't think I would go to United States and be protected. So we're going to look at how does like the Kenyan government act when the law enforcement there shoots a citizen versus how Americans react to the same. So we are going to look at those two videos of the recent shooting in Minnesota and look at a shooting that happened sometime earlier in 2025 in Kenya and see if there's any similarities. Okay, so but before you do that, please subscribe to Hardly Thinking. So let's watch this.
This rare series of images taken by an Associated Press photographer show the moments lead.
First of all, these guys, you give them guns, they think they're gods. I remember one time a police officer, I was walking, no, I wasn't walking, I was just standing somewhere, and then a police vehicle kind of passed me by and then stopped a few meters from me. And so like one of the officers was looking at me straight in the eye, like he was just staring at me. And at this point I was like, why is he staring at me like that? But he was adamant. It was like just looking at me, like just seemed like sizing me up like a meal or something. So yeah, of course I had to be a coward and look away because again, if I had continued staring at him, he would have made up an excuse to jump out of that, kind of arrest me, assault me, and then bundle me into the vehicle, take me to a corner, and then demand a bribe, which they do. But that aside, these guys, you give them guards, they think they're gods. Let's watch this.
Leading up to the shooting of an unarmed civilian by a Kenyan police officer. The incident took place in Nairobi on Tuesday during the latest protests against pervasive police brutality and extrajudicial killings. Images show the policeman run over to the man, guns drawn.
And remember, the police officer running up to a man under normal circumstances, these are their friends. These are the people they hung out with. Before they became police officers, these are the people they hung out with. They together condemned police brutality until they were given a badge and a gun. And all of a sudden, they are gods. They want every single opportunity they get you in a corner, they want to enrich themselves. They will squeeze you. Oh my God, in Kenya, police officers rob people.
It's not clear why they did this or what was said, but one of the officers then shoots the man, who appears to be a vendor rather than a protester, in the head at close range. As he falls to the ground, bleeding heavily,
Bro was walking away. He was walking away. But this man saw a threat. His life was in danger from a man who had turned his back on him. His life was in danger. Isn't that what they always say? I felt threatened by a man walking away, and I have a gun and state machinery backing me up. But I felt threatened.
Policemen walk away. Miraculously, the man survived, but is in intensive care.
Look at that.
The officer who shot him has since been arrested. People in Nairobi and Mombasa were protesting.
See how they walked away? See how they walked away? And do you see the similarity? How they're masked up?
Protesting against the death of a blogger and teacher in police custody earlier this month.
Now let us look at the American, the recent shooting in Minnesota, because we want to see like if there's similarities between Kenya and the great United States of America, the land of the free and home of the brave.
I want to start with the very first statement made by the Trump administration in the aftermath of this shooting. It was a tweet by the Department of Homeland Security showing a firearm on what appears to be the seat of a car. And the tweet reads, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun seen here. You see a picture behind it there. This looks like a situation where an individual...
Kenyan police does this all the time. Yo, there's a time they shot a student who had come to Kenya for like a break. He was studying. He was studied in London, and then had gone to watch football with some of his friends, and was going home. And I don't know what happened, and they shot up few people, ended up killing him, and all of a sudden, a gun was found on him. A gun is always somewhere to be found in these incidences.
Wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. Now we have this new angle of the video that's just been cleared by CNN, and it shows the lead up to this deadly altercation. This is what I want you to take a look at. Of course, this is disturbing video. Let's take some time though and watch this together. Some things to note. As it begins, you see Pretty out there in the middle of the street. He shows up right in this area here. You start seeing him, and he is at one point using his camera. There he is, right there, and he's pointing to traffic, sort of waving traffic through. At some moment here, you see that law enforcement approaches him, and he backs away as they start moving up on him. He is not trying to move toward them. He's backing away. Then you're going to see one of these officers.
You saw that officer approaching him is masked up, just like the Kenyan ones.
Approach a woman.
Oh, by the way, in Kenya, a court ruled that police officers are not allowed to mask up while approaching like civilians and unarmed civilians during protests. But in Kenya, as long as the president has your back, you can do pretty much anything. They ignore those rulings. You still see police officers masked up the same way those ICE agents in the United States are, actually. So I guess we are all banana republic at this point, aren't we? Yeah, one is a banana republic with a little more money. The other is a banana republic that is broke as fuck.
Near him and really forcefully shove her to the ground. Right.
Look at that. Yo, those are things I never imagined would happen in America. And it's sad, honestly. Like, if that can happen to you in the United States, then when your government is after you, where the fuck do you go? When shit is not right where you and you're fleeing for safety, where do you go? Americans don't want you anymore.
Pretty starts rushing over toward her. Now,
oh shit, look at that.
Pepper sprayed at this point. He gets grabbed and he's taken over to the ground here. I'll point out this is about 15 seconds from when officers turned to him. He's now on the ground. They are on top of him. The officers are all around. He does not appear to have a weapon in his hand. He doesn't brandish anything. He doesn't seem to do anything. And then all of a sudden you see one agent in the middle there. Look, he turns away, and that's when the shooting begins. One shot followed by, in our analysis, 9 other shots there.
Brothers felt the need to shoot a man on the ground 10 times. Law and order. Law and order.
We heard from Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino. He was asked at what point Pretty brandished a weapon in all of this. This was his answer.
Situation again is evolving. This situation is under investigation. Those facts will.
Yo, he's saying he's evolving right now, but earlier they already labeled that guy a domestic terrorist.
Come to light.
And this guy has a smart, like this. Honestly, like right now, these guys are walking like they're untouchable. Like nothing can ever happen to them. And I've seen in some court, like it looks like one of those guys who used to like run the gas chambers somewhere in 1945, somewhere in a place I don't want to mention. I don't know. Nowadays, you mention such shit, your video gets taken down for some reason.
This is important because. An important detail because concealed carry is legal. We know from local officials Pretty had a permit.
Oh shit, look at that, bro. That is happening in United States of America.
Questions as to why the picture of this gun that DHS shared online.
Bro, this is happening in the US.
And not in the scene where Pretty was shot. And we now have an answer. CNN analysis shows, if you watch all those videos carefully,
these masked bandits
right there who appears to be removing a gun. This is very critical to remember. That piece of video you're seeing right there is happening about a second or maybe slightly less than a second before the shooting begins.
Bro, there's nothing more to watch this for. I'm just gonna say that in Kenya, the police officer was arrested after public uproar because there's a video of him just walking up to a vendor and shooting him. In United States, there's a second shooting, and of course, these people feel untouchable, and he hasn't been arrested. So who's the banana republic? Where is the lawlessness? Now, again, to be fair, Kenya, in such instances, there will be a million adjournments, and then at some point, this case will either be dismissed or like it will just go under the public radar because Kenya, everyone is a politician and everyone is an expert in everything. So there is always like amnesia, so because all of a sudden this thing will be forgotten and something else will come up, and yeah, that is life in Kenya. Like in Kenya, I think the rate at which police officers are prosecuted would probably be much lower than United States. But again, right now I think the rates kind of is almost likely the same. Anyway, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and help me grow. See you